Let me start with, I will first start with the Safari retreats. Interesting and important one. Where from Safari retreats got started? See, if I'm getting mall constructed, let's say you are getting mall constructed, you would be purchasing a lot of cement, iron steel, sand, and a lot of services also, and paying GST to the supplier. Question is, being mall owner, can you avail credit of GST paid on goods or services or both for construction of immovable property? This was the question before Honorable Supreme Court. But before I start, let me draw the two important negative list within the GST law, which is barring credit is not available. Section 17, subsection 5, clause C, it is talking about that you will not get credit for works contract services for construction of immovable property, except plant and machinery. Please bear with me. Plant and machinery. So exclusion is, if it is plant and machinery, you will get the credit. And second exclusion is, when you are getting inward works contract services for outward works contract services. Am I clear to all? This is clause C. What is clause D? Important one. That you will not get credit on goods or services or both for construction of immovable property. So you will not get any credit on goods, services, or both for construction of immovable property except plant or machinery. That was the provision before. Plant or machinery. In clause C, it was plant and machinery in the course or furtherance of business. So simple meaning, any goods or services or both for construction of immovable property, you will not get credit unless it is plant or machinery. On own account, even though it is in the course or furtherance of business. Being chartered accountant, you are getting your office constructed, and the works contract service provider or any service provider charging GST, and you're going to use this office for the provision of taxable outward supply. Am I right? Whether you will get credit? As per law, you will not get credit even though it is in the course or furtherance of business. Having said that, now look at Safari Retreats Honorable Supreme Court judgment. There were three important points before Honorable Supreme Court. Three important points. The first point, and I would be needing your answer to these questions as well. First question, the constitutional validity of this 17 subsection 5 clause C and clause D being negative list. GST law need to be seamless flow of credit, no cascading. But why then this negative list? I'm using this office or mall for taxable outward supplies. Credit is not available. Is it constitutionally valid? This was the first question before Honorable Supreme Court. So how many of you know what is the Supreme Court judgment? What Supreme Court has said? Is it constitutionally valid? Negative list is there and you will not get credit. So how many of you say it is correct? That's what Supreme Court has said. Yes, negative list, constitutionally valid, and you will not get the credit. How many of you say yes? And it has got nothing to do with real estate. So you must know what is Safari Retreats. So I only saw few hands raising saying yes. How many of you believe that it is not constitutionally valid? No. Okay, some of raising hands no, but their maximum participants are like this. I don't know, they are special guests today. They have come from opposition party. They will not participate. Sir, in any kind of learning session, participation is important, whether you are right or wrong. Safari Retreats has come, review petition was filed, and then we got retrospective amendment done, and still we do not know what is the judgment of Safari Retreats. Then we have to really introspect ourselves. That is the reason if you are not raising hands, At least try out. If you try out and I'm correcting the same, it will get registered to your mind. But if you're not trying, then none can help. So I expect that you would be participating. Then only you would be enjoying. And I'm seeing everyone. I'm trying to see everyone. So please be participative. Honorable Supreme Court has said it is constitutionally valid. When provision is saying negative lists, you will not get credit, you will not get credit. Don't complain. If you have a complaint, go to GST Council and get the law amended. So next time, don't go to any high court and say, why negative list? I bought a car, and car I paid GST, but using for my business, you will not get credit. So don't go and file a writ petition. Point number one. Point number two, whether GST credit is a vested right. We always say and argue that GST credit is a vested right. Am I right? How many of you believe GST credit is a vested right? Say yes. How many of you? Yes? And how many of you say no? Okay. Sir, gentlemen sitting like this. All okay with you? All okay with you? Sir, repeatedly again telling you, I'm not the person who would be standing at the stage and you would be mute. No. If you want to enjoy, enjoy. Then only you will get real fruits and real juice of these fruits. GST credit is not your vested right. Unless you satisfy the condition on date of availment of credit. Excuse me, no sound please. Unless you satisfy the condition. If you don't satisfy the condition, it is not your vested right. So you must be recalling transitional credit, pre-GST credit, transition to GST regime. And Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Philco Trade Center has said it is our vested right. Why they have said? For the simple reason, credit was already available in pre-GST regime. Condition were satisfied. It is only transition to GST regime, so you can't create new condition for transition of credit in GST regime. That is the reason Philco Trade Center has said it is your vested right. So vested right only when satisfy the condition. If 16 subsection 4 putting time limit for availing credit which is 30th November of succeeding financial year, you must avail by that date. If you're not availing, don't say it is your vested right. All right, so you got two important questions solved. Now coming back to the important one.
Can you explain what is vested right?
Vested right is the inherent right vested in me when I'm paying GST on my inward supply.
How is it different from the fundamental right?
Sir, I will explain. Allow me. And I will request you that allow me to carry on with my momentum. And I'm sure during the deliberation, most of the queries will get resolved. If something is left out, I'm available for answering at the end of the session. I hope I'm clear to all. Now, next question is whether GST credit, which he posted to me, is a fundamental right, constitutional right, or statutory right. Is it not fundamental? Oh, it is not, sir. No constitutional? It is statutory right under the GST law. So don't say it is your fundamental right. Article 14, Article 19(1)(g). No, no. It is your statutory right. Am I clear? Coming to the fourth question now, important one, for which we have heard Safari Retreats. In Safari Retreats, when we were discussing the point that mall, which is an immovable property, if any goods or services or both are used for construction of mall being immovable property, credit is not available. But learned counsel from the petitioner side argued before Supreme Court and he said, Lordship, clause D talking about plant or machinery as an exclusion. Whereas clause C talking about plant and machinery, am I right? So Lordship, if mall, even though immovable property, but if it is a plant, then credit is available. Am I right? Lordship asked whether plant is defined under GST law. So plant per se is not defined in GST law. What is being defined? Plant and machinery. But what counsel of petitioner has done, he has shown one income tax judgment of Honorable Supreme Court to the Lordship, which is Taj Mahal Hotel Limited, income tax judgment, and wherein the plant is defined as, plant means small, warehouse, other building, except hotel and cinema theater. Am I clear to you? Yes. Clear? Lordship, see? Your Honorable Apex Court judgment saying plant means small, but from income tax. Lordship, this can be bought in GST as well. Plant means mall, and Honorable Lordship has agreed upon and said, if mall can be functionally proven, it is a plant and credit is available. Am I right? Are you all recalling? But I do not know how many of you are following me on Twitter. After this judgment, I see a lot of, appreciation pan-India. Oh, we'll get credit, we'll get credit. I was thinking, how come, boss? Mall and hotel are same. Same business model, right? Even hotel constructed, used for commercial letting out. And the definition is excluding hotel. But they are giving credit on mall. So I said this judgment will not hold good. And they will definitely, and even intention of the government was not to allow credit on immovable property, be it mall or hotel. So they will do retrospective amendment. Believe me, before they have done this, I have tweeted on my Twitter account at least 3 months before, which you can go and check. I said they are going to make retrospective amendment. I said that. It is on public domain. And that is how the beauty of learning the law. So exactly on 55th GST Council meeting on 21st December 2024, they have decided they will do retrospective amendment in section 17, subsection 5, clause D. Wherever written plant or machinery, they will make it plant and machinery. Am I clear? And by Finance Act 2025, this year budget, they have inserted this provision and amended the provision. An Honorable Chairperson of CBIC, Sri Sanjay Agarwal ji, at the press conference, what he said, we have made clerical error. Are you recalling that press conference? He came in a press conference and said, we have made. I was thinking, you people also make clerical error. It is all blame goes to us. Am I right? Pan India, we are being blamed that we are doing all clerical error, unintended error. Am I right? And that too, department invokes section 74. Fraud, willful misstatement, suppression of fact. I was just thinking, oh God, 17 you introduced GST law, and in 25 you are saying you made clerical error. Then I was thinking, if that was the intention and you never intended, never wanted to give credit on immovable property, why did you waste the time of Supreme Court? You could have submitted affidavit and said, we never wanted to give you the credit. So no point arguing, Lordship, we are going to amend the law. Am I right? Both money, taxpayers' money and department money could have been saved, but they're smarter. They are waiting and watching to get some relief from the Supreme Court. In case they are not getting any relief, retrospective amendment. Oh God. Now retrospective amendment is being done. So what is the way forward now? Point number 1. If you have availed the credit, let's say for the past period, and you are on the Safari Retreats, let's assume. Now, so they are going to ask you reverse credit under section 73 or 74? But it's an interpretation of law. How can you allege any fraud, willful misstatement, and suppression of fact? Appropriately, 73 should be applicable, am I right? People are listening to me. You should tell me after my deliberation, Bimalji, your analysis and interpretation is correct. Again, I'm reading clause D, goods or services or both, they will not give credit, right, on construction of immovable property, am I right? Other than plant and machinery as retrospectively amended. On own account, this one word on own account, what is the meaning of on own account? When you are getting this construction done on your own account, then even though it is related in the course of furtherance of business, you will not get credit, am I right? So what is own account? My factory construction, my warehouse construction. But if any person who is getting construction done like mall for others, building for others sell, or hotel, then they should get the credit, am I right? It is not barring, am I right? So even though Safari Retreats retrospectively amended, but still I'm of the opinion, in my humble submission, mall and hotel are not on own account. It is for others. Hence, credit is available. And to endorse my view, go back and read para 32 of Safari Retreats. Go back and read para 32 of Safari Retreats, and Honorable Supreme Court has explained what is the meaning of on own account. So whole drama, Safari Retreats, whether you will get the credit or not, mall being planned, I'm not discussing at all. I'm only discussing on own account. So this is what my silver lining opinion to Hyderabad, all practitioners, they will again say we are not into business. So you are practitioners for the industry, trade industry and commerce, and go back and tell them, boss, if you are constructing your storage warehouse, you will not get credit. Ask someone to get constructed and lease it out to you. Within the four corners of law. He will get the credit and I will also get credit on leasing services. So am I clear? This is one part of the story. Second part of the story of Safari Retreats. One of the IAS officer, the chief secretary level positions, has called me from Lucknow. My again request to your mobile, please, if you can just pause your mobile for an hour, it will help me. And he was the chief organizer of Mahakumbh Authority. Have you heard of Mahakumbh Authority? Anyone visited to Mahakumbh for Snan? Oh, they all will go to Moksha. Oh, they have raised their hands. They have done all Snan there. So in case you haven't gone, you touch them. At least you will also reach somehow. He called me and he said, GST department has issued a so-called notice to me. I said, you're IS and Mahakumbh Authority is our immovable property. Is our immovable property. Am I clear to all? I said, how come it is immovable, boss? It is only for the purpose of Mahakumbh, and then you will get it open and then everything will be moved out. So it's a movable one. Barring only on immovable, am I right? Why is saying so? Then IS officer telling me, Bimal ji, I don't understand. Then I asked him, why you have come to me? Sir, I have come to you because commissioner said you go and take legal opinion from one of the learned GST consultant in India. So I thought privileged. He approached to me, and I'm so fortunate Hyderabad Chartered Accountants Society has chosen me as being first technical session. So I'm again privileged. So I said, he asked me, Bimal ji, credit available? I said, 100% available. There's no dispute, no litigation. Why they are raising so-called notice? And I'm just recalling one of the judgment coming from Honorable Supreme Court, Bharti Airtel. And this judgment has come on contradictory judgment by Delhi High Court and Bombay High Court. Delhi High Court has said, in the context of telecommunication tower, you have seen that telecommunication tower on the building, top floor, get fixed. You create a civil structure, foundation, and then install that telecommunication tower with the screw and everything, right? As in when you want, you can always take it out and take it to other side. Am I right? Delhi High Court has said credit available being movable. Bombay High Court said, no, no, it is immovable. So what is the meaning of plant and machinery and movable? Plant and machinery as defined in GST law means any apparatus, equipment and machinery with its foundation and structural support. With its foundation and foundation will be civil structure. But still it is plant and machinery and excluded. What is excluded in plant and machinery? 3 items. Any land and building, any telecommunication tower cannot be a plant and machinery. And third, any pipeline laid outside the factory premises. In Supreme Court argument, department said, Lordship, telecommunication tower is excluded from the definition of plant and machinery. Hence, it is not plant and machinery. It is immovable. Credit is not available. What Honorable Supreme Court has held, boss, we have to look at movable versus immovable. Just creating the civil structure, foundation, and fixing it up with a screw does not mean it becomes immovable. And you have excluded from the definition of plant and machinery, deemingly it is not becoming immovable property. So don't argue all this thing. If anything which is movable can be input and capital goods. It is for pre-GST judgment, Sanvet credit, but quietly applicable for GST scenario as well, and credit is available. So my opinion got endorsed with Honorable Supreme Court judgment of Bharti Airtel. So this was the first point on Safari Retreats, and I've done all the part of Safari Retreats. Thank you very much.